What's going on, everybody? Will Kern from Endless Events, and we're back here again with another Whiteboard Wednesday where we take complex event topics and break them down right on the whiteboard. And today we're talking about 28 virtual event sponsorship ideas. 28. There's just so many for you guys. We're going to quick fire through this because I think we could be here for a while talking about all these ideas. So let's jump into these ideas for what we need to do to get sponsorships locked in and loaded for our virtual events. But before we do that, I know I said we're going to jump in. Important to think, a virtual event is online and it's on a web page, so a lot of these ideas are taken right out of the book of digital marketing tactics when it comes to your event. So if you're looking for more ideas, just look at digital marketing and see, hey, maybe that's how I could incorporate that into my event. So let's dive in with our first ideas. Let's talk about your event website. This is where everyone comes in the first time and experiences, learns about your event, maybe your speakers, your agenda, everything like that. Simple, easy ideas. You can do banners on here, you can do logo placements, you can do pop-ups on videos as well. So if you have like a trailer for your event, you could do that as well. You can also have side images along the side of your event page. And also keep in mind too, this could be your platform too as well. So all these ideas, you could have this all happening inside your platform as well. Also, as well, you can put ads inside your carousels too. So if you're doing a piece of content, maybe on your blog, kind of like that BuzzFeed style where you click through on a slideshow, maybe put an ad in between, that's no problem at all. Very, very basic stuff when it comes to digital marketing for your event website, but also inside your platform as well. Now let's jump into the next step that a lot of people experience when it comes to the event, and that's the communication that they get, a lot of which is via email. So we're going to talk a lot about email marketing for a split second. First thing that you have on here is banner ads within emails. So if you're sending out updates about speakers and things going on, or even if someone signs up for your newsletter to stay tuned to what's going on with your conference, put banner ads in the emails. Super duper easy stuff. Also as well, consider a special offer when it comes to your sponsors' products that they serve. So for example, if one of your sponsors sells, shampoo, maybe offering 50% off their shampoo. Let's do it. All right, next thing too, as well as embedding video inside the email. This is hot right now because people don't want to just read text on emails and read these long emails, but instead maybe consider a shorter email with a full embedded video right inside. Super duper cool. Also, something to keep in mind, meeting links as well. So maybe, for example, if you're sending out, an email every day for your conference, you have 365 emails potential to send out. Maybe each sponsor, you say, hey, if you'd like to meet one of our sponsors leading up to the event, here's a meeting link. They click on it, it shows the sponsor's agenda, and they can book a meeting with them right away. I know a lot of sponsors that would love to get more meetings with potential clients. And then last but not least is the post recap email. So after every single day of a conference, we all know that we can be there or we missed out on something, whatever it may be. You got to send an email with a recap to all your attendees, right? And what's really cool is that you can sponsor that, right? Man, wouldn't that be super cool to say, hey, this whole recap is sponsored by, Intel. Thank you so much, Intel, for making this happen. Now here we go. That's going to be one of your highest opened emails. All right, next thing leading up to your conference, way you communicate with people is via social. So one of the best things that you can do is giving your sponsors shout outs on social media. Super duper easy, right? Maybe featuring one of their posts, maybe offering them some collaboration, maybe creating them a post, wherever it may be. But also one thing to consider as well, maybe giving a sponsor who is really good at social media the opportunity to take over one of your stories on your favorite social media platform. So that way they can tell some stories, create some engaging content, that sort of stuff all day long. You guys starting to see the revenue opportunities right now coming on in. All right, let's move into the event itself, which, keep in mind, this has all been pre-event and a little bit of post-event as well, but let's talk about the event themselves. So here's a simple one. Presenters, right? Sponsored content. And I get it, right? We don't want to let sponsors drive content in any sort of way. Just like, on the news, they always say they don't want to have advertisers dictate content, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the show on HBO called Newsroom. But when it comes to your conference, there are presenters within those sponsors that do incredible things, right? Instead of relying on bringing out the leading scientist on XYZ topic, what if one of your sponsors has one of those leading scientists already inside their company as well, and you can sell that presentation as a sponsorship opportunity. The best thing that you can do though is just tell them you want quality content first. So start with quality, then consider the sponsorship opportunity afterwards as well. Next thing to consider is playing demos before ads, before the commercials, playing demos or commercials before the keynotes as well. I think this is really, really cool. Think about, like, why do people tune into the Super Bowl? To watch the ads. Maybe consider putting some really cool ads before your important content that pre-rolls. And this is super duper easy inside a live streaming platform. But the important thing to do is make sure it's not just a, hey, here's an ad, cool, look at this, but make it clickable, make it have a call to action, right? Send them off somewhere. Book a meeting, go here to our website, whatever that may be as well. Next thing to look at as well is answering sponsored logos on the lower thirds of your live streams as well. So all throughout the presentation, you could say sponsored by whatever it may be, right? Very cool. All right, next thing to consider as well is you're gonna be probably doing some polling when it comes to your educational content. Consider potentially saying this poll is brought to you by XYZ. Especially if your event's very, very large, you can collect some serious data during this polling. I, as a sponsor, would love to collect that data and say, hey, I'm a sponsor of this data, and then that way I can get the data featured in my blog post, whatever that may be as well. Next thing to look at is adding bumpers to your videos showing sponsorship logos. So if you're doing any recordings after the event or during the event and you have some asynchronous content that they're going to go tune in and check in the content library, consider running some bumper videos before or after each video as well. Let's keep going down the row. This one seems to be a forgotten net since we transitioned to virtual, but hosted buyer appointments, right? If sponsors' goal is to meet in front of these potential buyers, maybe offering the free virtual event to people who are willing to sit in on a certain amount of meetings, right? Going back to hosted buyer programs. Also consider, for example, having some sort of sponsor transition in between presenters and speakers and everything like that as well, right? Maybe you can even have a band play in between some presenters or a DJ and then say this is sponsored by, I don't know, iTunes Music. Next thing we go on here is sponsored breakout rooms or tracks as well. So for example, if you're doing like a marketing let's say not even a marketing conference, you're doing a business conference and you have a track all dedicated to sales, maybe for example having HubSpot sponsor that whole entire track of content would be very, very cool. Or even just a whole room dedicated to that person as well. It doesn't mean they dictate the content, but they're just sponsoring and bringing it on board. All right, now we're moving into kind of what we call the crush the box idea. So instead of thinking outside the box, let's just crush that box altogether and start with some really cool, unique ideas. One of which is creating an attendee leaderboard. So when it comes to engagement and gamifying your entire event and you have a nice, huge leaderboard, let's go ahead and get that sponsored as well. Maybe, for example, the winner gets an XYZ product that's brought to you by the sponsor, or maybe is created by the sponsor. Next thing to consider is delighting them at the door. So giving them a really, really cool experience when they show up to the event and doing something very, very cool. Like, for example, I don't know, giving them a free coupon offer for XYZ when they first sign up. Maybe they get a free product, whatever that may be. Next thing, consider interactive activities. And this is a broad one, right? Because there's so much different stuff you could do. Like have a cooking class sponsored to you by the Food Network. You could have, I don't know, like a drawing class brought to you by DC Comics, whatever it may be, right? There's so many interactive activities that you can have. Sponsor them. Next thing as well, gifts, right? We all love our swag and our gifts, and wouldn't it be really cool if you could surprise your attendees with something at their door and just ship them something, because you should be collecting their mailing address, and they get something and have it sponsored by somebody. Wouldn't that be really cool? The important thing to know when it comes to this though is let's think sustainably though, right? Like let's not think of things that are gonna be cheap, like pens and reusable straws, right? We're all kind of sick of that now at this point. But instead think of things people are actually gonna use and enjoy so it doesn't end up in the trash bin and doesn't create more waste. Next thing as well, food delivery. So for example, we used to have luncheons that were sponsored by a sponsor. So maybe consider, for example, having the DoorDash delivery to everybody's food meals sponsored by XYZ. Virtual scavenger hunts, again, are super duper cool, but imagine then taking that and tying in different sponsors. So for example, maybe making a scavenger hunt going onto a sponsor's webpage and having to find, the year the company was founded, whatever it may be. Next thing as well, consider partnering your sponsors with a social initiative that matters most to your event. Second to last, improving the experience as well. So anything that's going to improve the entire experience of the event. So for example, maybe you consider, this is a crazy idea, shipping out televisions to all your attendees and having it sponsored by Samsung, and everyone gets to use that nice new TV to watch the event. But let's think even simpler than that. Like, for example, if your attendees don't have, I don't know, a Fire TV or an Apple TV, maybe shipping one of those out so everyone can watch the event on their television. Boom, there you go. Or maybe a set of Bluetooth headphones that they can use to listen to the conference. Who knows, right? Next thing to also consider as well is sponsored content collaborations. I love this the most because, for example, if I get a chance to work with, maybe one of your presenters to create an ebook, we could give away that ebook to all your attendees and make it so when they click and opt in, that creates the opt-in contact information, and then boom, that's a lead for me to be able to use. Super duper cool when it comes to it. So a lot of these things, though, you can imagine, you can just say sponsored by and putting your company here. Again, giving that visibility and awareness all day long when it comes to the sponsorships. So, wow, that was a lot there. Will talks really, really fast too, so we try to cram in as much as we could as quickly as possible. But that is 28 virtual event sponsorship ideas for you right there. I would love to know, what ideas did we miss? Post them in the comments and let us know. Do you have a crazy idea? I'd love to hear it. Maybe I'll update this video and include some of your guys' awesome ideas and give you a shout out. I'd also love to know, did any of these not work for you too? Have you done them before? Post in the comments and let us know what worked, what didn't work, all that stuff. And as always, if you really, really enjoyed this content, make sure to give it a nice like. If you dislike the content, feel free to give a thumbs down, but let us know in the comments what we can do better to make our content even better. And if you really, really, really love this content, make sure to subscribe because we publish these videos every single Wednesday, again, right here on Whiteboard Wednesday. This has been Will Kern from Endless Events, and I'll see you guys next time on Whiteboard Wednesday.
Hi there! Welcome to another Whiteboard Wednesday. I'm Shane, and today I'm going to be talking about video trends.